Hey everybody, Mike Nav here from Movement Mortgage. I am bringing you some questions that I get asked all the time, and I have a special guest on, Patrick Picard. He's an accountant CPA, and I'm going to ask him 4 or 5 questions, and hopefully these answer the common questions that I get asked all the time. So welcome, Patrick.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can help some people out today.
Yeah, so let's jump right in because tax time is coming up, and this is important stuff that people ask. So the number one question I get asked all the time: are points tax deductible, and does it matter if it's a purchase or a refinance? And just if you don't know, folks, points are what you pay a bank to buy your rate down, or it could be a fee. For example, if you have lower credit or certain loan programs, you have to pay points. So I'll let Patrick answer question number one.
Okay. So yes, points are tax deductible during a purchase or a refinance. And in addition, during a closing, property taxes and any mortgage interest, as well as mortgage insurance premiums, are also deductible.
Okay, so that's why it's very important when you're going to your accountant, and if you need one, Patrick's awesome. Oh, that way.
Thank you.
Bring your closing disclosure that you get at your closing, because it itemizes all of these costs that Patrick's talking about. Number 2, do you get taxed if you sell your primary home?
When you're selling a primary home, you are able to exclude a portion of your net gain. So that amount depends on whether you're filing single or married filing jointly. A single tax payer can deduct up to $250,000, and a married filing joint can deduct up to $500,000 of the gain. And this gain is calculated by subtracting the basis from the sales price, and then you would get taxed on any remaining gain.
All right. So technically, if you bought a house for $500,000 20 years ago and sold it for $1 million today, you could walk away with a $500,000 profit and have 0 taxes.
Yep, if you're married, that's correct.
Wow, interesting. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. So most people don't get taxed on their gain.
Right. And you don't have to reinvest it or anything. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yep, exactly.
That's pretty interesting. Good way to support your retirement if you're downgrading. Let's say you're moving from a big home on Long Island and you want to get a smaller home in the Carolinas, for example. Profit some of that money, market's hot, and live off that. All right. How do I, oh, well, you answered question number 3, calculating the basis. I guess the last question is, especially since COVID started, what happens to all these folks that are working from home? They now have extra utility costs, and maybe they get a separate phone line and buying computers and stuff. Is any of this tax deductible for an employee working from home?
Yeah, this is definitely a hot topic right now that I get asked all the time. Unfortunately, though, it only applies to self-employed individuals. So if you are an employee and you receive a W-2, you can't deduct anything related to a home office, even if you're a full-time remote worker. However, if you are lucky enough to not have a boss and work for yourself, you could definitely take advantage. So the way to take advantage is if you have a dedicated workspace, like a home office in your house, you can deduct a portion of the expenses that that office would take up. So say you have a room in your house takes up 10% of the house, you can deduct 10% of all your expenses. This would include, any utilities, property taxes, stuff like that. And also you can fully deduct any direct expenses, any office supplies, a separate phone line, pretty much anything that you use directly for that business.
Got it. So all these folks working from home now for companies that are employees have 0 benefit other than saving on some gas, not having to commute to the office, and
yep,
maybe
much
not
like
getting
me.
sick once in a while. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I work from home a lot, but I can't really deduct anything, unfortunately.
There you go. All right, so I wanted to keep it short and sweet because folks get bored. But hopefully these are the top 3 questions, and they've answered some of your questions. Remember, it's tax time, so if you need a CPA, Patrick, give him a ring. We'll have his information at the end. And remember to bring your closing disclosure. If you closed on a house in 2022, bring that document called the closing disclosure to your closing. Anything else to add, Patrick? Anything at all that you think is important for folks to know?
No, I guess I just wanted to say that, everybody's tax situation is different. So, it might not necessarily apply what I said today, but, like you said, any questions, give me a holler.
And you have capacity for clients if someone needs their taxes done this year?
Yep, definitely. Always looking for new clients.
All right, cool. Magic Mortgage Mike. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
You too.